Dolores, and I'm bringing you my mid-month wrap-up for the month of May. I decided to do mid-month because I read so many books a month that I attempted to film like my backlog of books that I've already read this year by month, and it was a really long video, so I figure trying to break it up in parts will be better. So far I have read 11 books. I'm on my 12th right now. I wrapped up April sitting at 80 for the year out of my entire 2016 goal. My goal for 2016 is to read 200 books, so I'm sitting pretty right now. On to the book. The first couple of books that I read were the second and third book in a trilogy that I started a really long time ago and thankfully didn't have to go back and reread, and that is The Particle Sequence by Dan Wells. I read Fragments, which is the second book, and Ruins, which is the third. It was a really good dystopian series, and I cannot believe it's taken this long for me to finish. But I'm glad I did. I have it done now. Yay. The next is another series. I read all 4 of the actual books that are part of the series. I haven't read the companion novella collection that goes with it just yet. I do plan on it, but I haven't done it yet. And it was the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, which include Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, and Queen of Shadows. This series, oh my gosh. I want to do a separate video kind of talking about it. I haven't decided if I want to wait until the 5th book comes out before I do that though, because I love this. I do like the series. I do like the world building. I like kind of the direction this is going. I like seeing how she's improved as a writer over the course of the series, but I have a massive problem with Selena Stardothian. It was really bothering me the first couple books. On the 3rd book I got over it, but then the 4th it came back with a vengeance, and I feel like I have to talk about it because people seem to fixate on the romance aspect of it, which is a part of the thing that I feel is problematic with her as a lead character, but is by no means the only thing. And it may kind of seem like a cheap shot whenever I talk about it, but I'll do that in a separate video because I don't know. I will continue the series. I do plan on finishing it. It's not because, oh, I've invested this much time, I have to finish it. No, I genuinely want to finish the series and figure out where it's going. There are 2 more books to go. Hopefully the concern I have gets resolved. I don't know. We'll see. The next book that I read is the first in the Trials of Apollo series by Rick Riordan. This is The Hidden Oracle. It's a Rick Riordan book. Of course it's really good. I really liked it. I probably should have had a little space between finishing Throne of Glass before I started this book though, because I was still experiencing a lot of feelings. He's kind of expanded and modernized some personalities of the Greek and Roman gods in the Percy Jackson and the Heroes of Olympus series. To have one of the gods be the main character, I think it's a pretty cool idea. The way that he's characterized Apollo, the way the new characters that he's brought into this story are really good. The cameos, no, it's not a senseless cameo for anybody. They all they have a purpose, and I'm sure because this is the first of 5 that they're gonna have an even greater purpose in the Trials of Apollo. And I definitely am going to make myself reread this volume before I read the second one, just because I want to be in that right frame of mind whenever I do it, since I'm sure that there was something I just kind of glossed over reeling with the feels from Throne of Glass. Really YA heavy. I know that was really YA heavy. The start of this month really was YA heavy. On to something that is not YA. So the next book I read was Schoolgirl by Osamu Dazai. This book is really revered amongst younger people in Japan because it is from the first-person perspective of a schoolgirl. I think she's in junior high. She's kind of struggling with what her place in society is, struggling with what makes her inherently Japanese, but still curious about things that are from the West. But this book was really good. The next one that I read is Night on the Galactic Railroad and Other Stories from Ihatov by Kenji Miyazawa. This is really good. Kenji Miyazawa was an author who was a Catholic but really respected Buddhist traditions. He's also very fascinated by science, especially astronomy. So a lot of that is reflected in here, and it's really, his writing is really beautiful. It's just really beautiful. The next book that I read was Soundless by Richelle Mead. When this book came out, a lot of people were really excited to get to read it, myself included, because Mulan is probably one of my favorite Disney princesses, and so to read a story that's kind of steeped in this ancient Chinese tradition, and dealing with Chinese folklore, that's kind of the way that it was marketed, and it is not how the book is at all. It's not that great of a book. The concept was really interesting, but the execution of it definitely fell flat, and that's terribly unfortunate. The next book, and the final book that I have finished so far this month, is one that's actually inspired me to make a separate video kind of dealing with some of its topics, and that is Schindler's List by Thomas Keneally. I have seen the movie, directed by Steven Spielberg, and this was on my 2016 reading challenge, to read a book that is the inspiration for a movie you have seen. This definitely gives you more information about what was going on. This explores a lot more about Oskar Schindler. I don't know why, but I had the impression watching the movie that he wasn't entirely on board with having to do what he did. I mean, this makes his motives just that much more obvious to you. Hopefully I get a better understanding after having read the book and rewatching the movie to kind of enhance my experience, my understanding of the story even further. So that's everything that I have read. What I'm currently reading is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. It's really good so far. I can totally tell already why it's won a Pulitzer. My monthly goal was to get to 20 by the end of the month, so I have a total of 100 books read throughout the entirety of the year, and that just makes me so happy because that's halfway through. Yay! This was really YA heavy, and I tried to keep a nice balance typically when I read, so hopefully the books that I read through the remainder of the month are not so YA heavy, or if they are, there's some of the other series that I haven't finished yet to kind of let's clear this stuff off the TBR. That's everything that I have for you today, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.